Good evening, everybody. This is Hunter here, and I'm flying solo this weekend, as weird as that is. Here to talk to you guys about review Bad Santa 2, which um, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was really scared about going into this because um, if you guys listen, which you should be, we reviewed Zoolander 2 earlier, which was just as bad of a comedy as I've seen in decades. It's an atrocious movie, but so part of me was sitting here going into this thinking, oh, this could really suck. I do have some good news. It doesn't suck. Is it good? If we'll get into that. So the plot of this movie is, of course, Billy Bob Thornton. It's so weird to see Billy Bob Thornton again outside of Fargo, which he's great in, but he comes back as Willie, and basically this movie is almost beat for beat like the first movie, except it's not as funny. So he basically meets back up with Marcus, played by Tony Cox, who, if you remember from the first movie, uh, tried to shoot him point blank after he got the money, and so he gives him this really half-assed apology. Willie accepts it, and they go off to Chicago to rob a charity, just showing that Willie is a true piece of shit. And he's joined by his mother, Sonny, who's played by Kathy Bates, which, um, just to kind of jump in here, is the MVP of this movie. Kathy Bates is hilarious in this, and while we've seen her be funny before, not only is she just really crass in this movie, like really crass, but you can tell she's just having an absolute blast with the movie. She was actually one of the few things I liked about Tammy, which was atrocious. But yeah, she's actually been funny at multiple points, and she's just hilarious here. The one thing that carries this movie, or probably the only thing that really carries this movie, is the chemistry, because Billy Bob Thornton and Kathy Bates, they have great chemistry, and then him and Marcus have really good chemistry. So the charity that they're going to go ahead and knock off, if you will, is ran by two people. It's ran by Diane, who's played by my hopefully future wife, Christina Hendricks, who does a hell of a job here, and then her husband, who's played by Ryan Hansen. So I had to Google this guy because I've seen him before, and I remember just not being a huge fan of his for some reason. I remember he was in Hit and Run, and I don't like him. And he was in Jim and the Holograms, just to further my my reason for hating him. But if there is a disappointment in this, Christina Hendricks is barely in this movie. She has maybe 10-12 minutes of screen time, and that's probably being generous. She's not in the movie a whole lot. It's very nice to hear her say, I think she says "fuck me like a dirty slut," which made me very happy. But I mean, outside of that, she does have a couple like genuinely funny lines where she's just kind of just talking down to Billy Bob Thornton because he's an asshole. He might even be worse in this movie than he is the first one. But overall, they really don't use her that much. What was a very nice surprise is Brett Kelly, who of course, played Thurman in the first movie. He returns to play him again here, and he's the only person in this movie who really has a soul. Everybody else in this movie is just such a piece of shit. Even Diane is pretty terrible, but the kid, he's so dumb and he's so naive that it's adorable in a weird sort of way. But him and Billy Bob Willie's their chemistry is really the heart of this movie. If there is a big complaint, well, one of a couple in this movie. It's that the movie doesn't have the heart that it did the first time around. I think Lauren Graham just kind of worked better, or maybe they just used her more. It could be a mixture of both. She kind of takes she takes a shine to the kid. She starts to like him. You never have any interaction with Diane and Thurman. Really, it's really just interaction between Diane and Willie in the movie. But there's a lot of funny jokes in this movie. It's not a good movie though, and I can't stress that enough. The plot is pretty thin in the last 20 minutes. Just almost completely folds within itself. It's almost like even the writer just kind of went, I just need to get through this. Like, what can I do to get to the end of this? It's not very well done, but everything else leading up to it is pretty damn funny. I don't know, I think I paid $7 to see this. So I saw like the early matinee at noon, and I laughed really consistently, and I laughed hard at a couple points. There's a line talking where Kathy Bates's Sonny is talking to Marcus, and she calls him a midget, and he freaks out, rightfully so. And so she responds, paraphrasing, with I know I'm not normally politically correct, so if you have an issue with it, take it up with the Lollipop Guild. And I won't even lie, I laughed my ass off when she said that. Partially because it was Kathy Bates saying it, but partially because the line I thought was just freaking hilarious. But the movie, it is funny. It's not as well written as the first time out, but to be totally honest, I wasn't expecting it to be. So it's pretty damn funny. Again, you get to see Christina Hendricks be dirty, which just warms my heart. But overall, though, it's not super awesome, but it's not Zoolander 2. It's not even close to Zoolander 2. So I can't stress that enough. So if you think this is going to be Zoolander 2 where it'll just disappoint you, it won't. You'll be like, all right, that was at least worth, that didn't make me sad watching it. So getting to my final thoughts here, Billy Bob Thornton is still so goddamn funny, and I totally admit I'm a sucker for people being mean to kids. It's just always has made me laugh, just because kids are little assholes anyway. And so when people are telling him what they want for Christmas, and he just could give less of a shit. Also, they showed the scene partially in the trailer where he fights his Santa for the spot. It was pretty goddamn funny. So there is some stuff here that's really great. Some of the best gags the trailers did give away, unfortunately, but there is still some stuff that you will see and just go, wow. Particularly the scene that they allude to in the trailer where Thurman is gonna have sex with the black chick the black prostitute that Willie had sex with in the first movie. That whole scene when he's describing how to have sex was just groan worthy, but in the best way. So I would give this a solid B. I thought this was pretty funny at points. It's definitely not as good as the first one, so don't think that. But if you see it at early matinee, you pay $6-7, I think you'll leave being like, okay, that was worth it. So yeah, solid B for this. So guys, have you seen Bad Santa? Have you seen the second one? If you like the second one more, then you're insane. But let me know what you thought in the comments below. You can follow yours truly on the Twitter at JHunterRealPineapple. You can follow Mr. Colin O'Neill at The Real O'Neill. That's REEL O'Neill. And you can follow Mr. Scott Neerman at Neerman the First. Guys, this week we will have reviews up for Luke Cage Season 1 and Allied as well, and Moana. Guys, thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.